Awesome. Hey, welcome to our Thursday night team call. I'm hitting record, so if you have any coaches on your team or anybody that needs to hear this message today, make sure that you can share that with them. And also, if you guys could do me a favor, and I guess each of us a favor of, I was thinking about this a lot this weekend, and I made a YouTube video about it, and it has to do with events, okay? And events is anything, I believe, where you can connect with other coaches. So, for example, sometimes we may think of the events as just like Summit or just Super Saturday, but the events all include, I would say, the National Wake Up Calls. So write these down of things that I feel that are necessary for every coach to participate in, to stay focused on your vision, on your purpose, on what's going on in the company, in the team, and all that stuff, so you can move forward continually with your business, and then as well keep your coaches plugged in. I'm going to grab a book and show you this book. It took me like a year to read this book, and once I did, I was like, why didn't I read this in the beginning? And I'm going to tell you why, because it says 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional. And in all honesty, I was like, that's not what I want to be. I want to be an awesome Beachbody coach. But we are in a network marketing company. So if you want to build a long-term business with this, it's important that you become a professional at it. And it does take 7 years to become a professional. So if you're in month 3, month 5, year 2, year 3, and you feel like you're struggling, don't worry, because it takes 7 years to become a professional. I'm still figuring out things, right? I still am trying to adjust and get better at everything that I do as well. So that book, if you haven't read it, that's going to be an important one. But what I want to share about that is I went to that event in Las Vegas where they had speakers from all different companies come. And one of the most important things that they all said is that the importance of us, as you know, we get people in love with the products, which we absolutely love. We're doing the workouts, we're drinking Shakeology, and it's amazing. But they talk about the importance of getting people to events, and that's what's going to help them grow their business. And not necessarily you as their coach. It's going to be them getting plugged into events is what's going to help them build their business and be in this for the long term and stay focused on what they want. So here's the events that I feel that every single person should be to. And I just want to give you guys a quick shout out. Give me a thumbs up or something for being on the call tonight, because you're at an event. So boom, you're at an event. You know, the events are National Wake Up Calls. And if you can't get on live to any of these, remember that every single one's recorded. There's a playback number for the National Wake Up Call. There's a recording on these team calls as well. But there's the National Wake Up Call Monday mornings. And you can always get the info in your Coach Breaking News, or go to www.coachfaq.com and search National Wake Up Call. It'll pop up all the info for you on that. And then the other one is Lindsay Matway, my coach. She's been in the top 10 of the company for 4 years straight. We're all a part of her team, her umbrella of a team, I guess you could say. She's a 3-time top 10 coach and has been in the top 10, or has been elite for, it'll be her 5th year. And she has a team call. She has her coaches share a team call on Monday nights that we're always welcome to use for training as well. So there's National Wake Up Call Mondays mornings. You can get on her calls on Monday nights. And then our calls are this time every Thursday night, the exact same time. And we always have somebody else, somebody new sharing. Next week, I'm going to have a guest on, so you know who it is. It's somebody that went 2-star diamond in about, I think, 7 months. They opened up their second business center, and they're already a 2-star in their second business center. They've only been a coach for about 7 months. So they're going to have some great value and some tips to teach us as well. So I'm going to have that guest on next week. I'll announce it like always in the team page. So those are the events that you can get to. Of course, as well, I just want to let you guys know that Super Saturday was awesome. For me, it was awesome. I hope many of you guys made it there. And if you didn't make it there, I want you to go to www.coachfaq.com, type in Super Saturday, and go find out the info for the next one, which is the week after Summit, and mark your calendar. Like, commit to being there at that local Super Saturday. So I just want to share I'm going to ask Sean, because I got to go to Sean's Super Sunday. Sean, could you share with us your thoughts on your Super Sunday out in Edmonton?
Man, it was mind blowing. It was the first one we actually put together as a market council. What Canada's done is actually got a team of coaches together. So it's not just one or two that put it together. I'm blessed enough that I'm part of that market council. And we actually, right from when people were walking in to the end, excitement. There was times of tears. There was times of laughter. There was a time of Scotty and I were standing side by side, and we're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna cry together," because it was just heartwarming. Benita, who's on the call, was talking. Um, we got Scotty involved in a little flash mob to Uptown Funk. Uh, it was just an incredible day. I couldn't walk by the end of the day, but just a big experience. And you know what? I know it had an impact because I've got 5 coaches on this call tonight, and a lot of them don't usually make these calls. So they were inspired by our Super Sunday, and it shows it because they're on the call right now.
Awesome. Great testimonial. Yeah, I had a great time. And it's always amazing. Like I see your beautiful faces on these calls on Facebook, but there's something awesome about being together with other coaches. And, that's what's going to happen at Summit as well. But, yeah, it was just amazing seeing, there was a standing ovation from Bonita when she shared her story. Everybody was crying. Yes, Sean and I were over there in the corner with tears in our eyes. I was like, dude, Sean, I got to go up there. When she was done, I was like, put some music on and get everybody dancing for a minute so I can get my composure back and go up there and speak, because I'm going to cry anyway, so I don't need to start off crying, right? So it's just an amazing experience. So, and that's not just going to happen where Sean's at or where I'm at or where Trevor's at or where my man Shane's at. It's going to happen wherever you're at, the people that you're going to connect with at your local meeting. So make it a priority to get there and to get your teams to those events. Also, Summit is coming up in July. I was just realizing that's like 3 months away. So I want you guys to know that even if you're a brand new coach, it's not too late to come to Summit. Many of the success stories that I've seen, even on our team, are people that went to Summit, last minute, brand new coaches. I know Brigitte Linford was like that, and a few others. And if you can't make it, that's understandable as well. But I want you guys to just know, because sometimes you don't know as a brand new coach, there's all this information, and you may think like that Super Saturdays for experienced coaches or Summits for experienced coaches, but that's not the case. It's for everybody. So these events are for you guys, for every single one of you guys to be there with us. So we want you there. We have a hotel for the entire team. So if you get a ticket, when you go get one, just let us know and we can help hook you up with that hotel so that you're there with us. So is there, and I just have to give a shout out. I have my cousin's husband, Brett, on here. He just signed up as a coach literally like 2 hours ago. So already on his first call. That's the way to do it right there. So we're going to get on to the meat of this topic. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because there's some things that you as a brand new coach, or however long you've been a coach, it's important to look at the coaches that are building successful businesses and watch what they do so they can emulate their activity, emulate what they're doing in their business. So one thing, if you guys could take a little note, is that you should look at the elite top coaches of the year, the top 25, and go follow them. It doesn't mean you need to friend request them and write them a message and ask, for their tips or anything, but just follow them so you can kind of see what they do. You can look at their Facebook. You can see if they have a like page or whatever, and just see how they post things. See what kind of things they're doing, how they hold themselves, on social media. So you could take that away and then apply it into your life. Of course, not trying to be them, but just being you, and then being on social media like they are. So that's one thing. The first thing I would do is I would look for those elite top coaches, or anytime there's a national wake up call and they announce a speaker, I would follow them and see what they're doing, because you become like the people that you most surround yourself with. So it's important that you are getting some of that stuff in your news feed so you can be inspired by it as well. And so that's going to be an important thing. That's one thing I've continually done. Even nowadays, even as a coach for 4 years, I'll see a new coach come on that's doing, like this coach I'm going to have as a guest next week. I'm like, what? Doing that? I need to find out what this girl's doing. I need to find out what kind of things she's doing. So even I'm still doing that and finding people that I need to follow to be inspired or learn new ways to talk about things in general on Facebook. I say things because I'm going to talk to you today about what kinds of things you can talk about and how you should talk about them. But I guess I got to announce one other quick thing real quick. You guys see what is coming out? Can you guys read that? Beachbody Performance. I'm super excited about that, and I want you guys to know that that's coming out in July along with the size workout. So we're going to have a whole supplement line, 5 supplements that you can use. So it's important that you are starting to get aware of that, learning about it in the Coach FAQ so you can talk to people about it and be ready to use it as well. It has a pre-supplement similar to E&E, but I feel it's a little bit better. It has one called Hydrate that you use during your workout. And then it has a post-workout that you take, it's a protein for post-workout, as well as a creatine that you use with your post-workout. And then the 5th one is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a casein, a slow-releasing protein that you take right before bed. So awesome. I've been using it for 2 days, and it's been great so far. So that won't be available until July, but it's important that you start to understand a little bit about what's coming in the future. And that'll be coming right at the same time as the size workout DVDs. And to touch back on what Sean said, they did get me out of my comfort zone. I guess size got me out of my comfort zone to start with because I am the most awkward guy when it comes to dancing, and I got some moves now. I can confidently say I got some moves thanks to that DVD. So, and then Sean got me up on stage as well. So thanks for making me get out of my comfort zone. 4 years ago, I would have turned red. I would have looked like the most awkward person in the world, but I had fun with it. So that's a cool thing that we do as Beachbody coaches is we grow out of our comfort zones. We learn to stop being afraid of people and realize that everybody else has the same insecurities as we do, which is a pretty cool thing once you realize that we're all pretty similar. So let's get to this talk about Facebook, okay? I'm going to screen share, and I'm going to just go right off the top of my head and pick some coaches that I know use Facebook very well so that I'll just point out things on their Facebook account. Let me know if you can you guys see my page? Can someone give me some thumbs up? Thanks, Sean. Okay, let me go to Facebook. I'm going to go to Gina Hunter. She pops in my mind because I was just up at the event up there with her. So I'll point out some things, and some of these things, most of these things I'm going to talk about are things that I just do that I realize that sometimes we don't teach or talk about that you need to make sure. Like I met a coach in Cancun that has a fairly significant business that didn't have a public profile. So they built a business with their Facebook page without the ability of people outside of their network seeing their posts, which is pretty incredible, but I know how much it's going to compound now that they're going to have a public profile. So one thing you want to do is make sure that you have a public profile. So you'll go to your settings and make sure that it's public. And I'll tell you why you want to do that. You want your profile to be public because every post that you do, and I'll talk about what types of posts to do, this is how Facebook works. When it's private, when your profile is just private, the only people that can see your news feed, which is this right here, are the people that are on your friends list. So if you have 200 friends right now or 150 or 300 and you're private, the only people that will ever see your posts are going to be those people. So if you've been a coach for a year and you've been private, those 300 people have seen your same post for the past year. So what you want to make sure is that it's public. And here's why. So let's say I'm not a Beachbody coach, but I'm friends with a friend that went to school with Gina. Let's say I went to school with one of Gina's friends. I'm going to make a name here. So let's say Delissa and I went to high school together, but I have no idea who Gina is. If your Facebook's public, what's going to happen is when Gina posts this and Delissa comments on it, I can see that in my news feed. When I'm browsing through my news feed, which is this right here, when I'm scrolling through this, it would say something like, Gina commented on that photo. And so I could click on that and then see, or that one Gina's friend comment on that photo, and I can go see that photo at that point. And so it'll be important because as you stay consistent with your posts, which I'll talk about what you can post about. People outside of your current network and friends list will be able to see what you're doing. So if you can provide value on your Facebook or inspiration, there's going to be people outside of your friends list that can see that. And I'll give you guys a couple quick examples of that. Brigitte Linford, number 16 in the company last year. She went to the rival high school of mine. She graduated the same year I did in 1999, but we didn't know each other. We had never met. I didn't know who she was. I never heard of her name. But we had mutual friends because we're from the same town. So what happened is one day when I was making a post about making a payment on my mortgage and sharing about, I was just paying a little extra on my mortgage when I first became a coach in my first year. I was putting some extra Beachbody money towards my mortgage and talking about how I wanted to pay it off. So she wasn't my friend, but her friends commented on that, or a couple of her friends liked that post. And so she's like, what the heck is this thing, or who is this guy that everybody's commenting on his stuff? And so she came and looked at it. She was intrigued by that. And she started looking through all my photos and all my pictures and found out through my photos and pictures that I was a Beachbody coach, that I was doing workouts, that I was helping people with workouts, helping people with transformations. So she actually went on her own, bought Shakeology, bought P90X, and had her own transformation, and then reached out to me afterwards and said, hey, I've been following you. I don't mean to sound like a stalker, but I've been following you on Facebook, and this is my story. I have results. I've watched what you do on Facebook and with your YouTube, and I know that I can do that. And I'm ready to become a coach. Tell me what to do, and I'm ready to go. So if I had not had a public profile, Brigitte would have never seen my posts. So everybody here, make sure that you check tonight that your Facebook is public so that people outside of your network can see that. Can I get a thumbs up? Boom. Okay. Sean, is that the way you found me as well first, was Facebook? So Sean found me. Sean, all the way up in Edmonton, Canada, found me as well through my Facebook posts on my public Facebook page. So that, my friends, is how important it is that you have a public Facebook page and that you're consistent. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to bounce some questions once in a while. So Sean, let's ask you another question. So you saw my Facebook. What made you want to ask me about Beachbody? I remember our first question, but do you remember the first question you asked me?
Can you make money doing this?
Yep. So he just saw what I was doing. It wasn't just about fitness and health. He asked me, hey, I see what you're doing, basically. And he'd had experience with some Beachbody workouts, and he said, can you make money doing that? And so we started our conversation in that aspect. So once again, another testimonial there of why it's important. So is there anything, and I'm putting Sean on the spot here, what did you like that made you want to reach out to me?
I was looking at another coach at the time, Alex Sanabria, I think his last name is, or something very close to that. And that's when I first learned that coaching was even possible. Again, this was after I did my Power 90 transformation. And there was a post that I saw in one of his feeds where you were on stage burning your mortgage. And that led me to your YouTube site. And then I started scrolling through your YouTube site. And that's when I did a little more. I did the Google, found out how to get a hold of you. And that's when I sent my first message through Facebook to you, was after I watched your video, burning your mortgage.
Awesome. So he originally saw a post on Facebook. So here, I'm going to meet everybody again. So, hey, that's, I'm going to have to tell him, that's my brother-in-law. Alex is Gabby's brother. So public is going to be a very important thing, but it's Sanabria. But Facebook, having a public profile, there's a couple examples of two of my Star Diamond coaches, very successful coaches that found me specifically, primarily, first off, through Facebook. And I want you guys to notice one thing. It wasn't both of those posts, guys, and you got to get rid of the fear on this one, had nothing to do with joining a challenge group or the fitness. It was 100% the coaching aspect of Beachbody. So You've got to be bold about what you're doing as a coach if you want to attract coaches in. If all you do is talk about fitness, you're going to attract in people that just want fitness, which is okay because those will turn into great coaches. But if you want somebody that's ready to run with you at full speed, you're going to want to attract somebody that's also needing some serious change in their life, like paying off their credit card debt or living paycheck to paycheck. And they're looking for something that's going to be the answer to their prayers or whatever it is they've been trying to figure out to take care of their family, just like I did. You know, I already loved P90X, and I'm like trying to find out how to take care of my family, starting a sign business, selling things on Craigslist, and then I found Lindsay. So make sure that your profile is public. And I just drew a line there, and I have no idea where that came from. So going on from there, we're just going to take a look at her posts, and I'm going to give you another tip. And this is totally random, so I hope she did good today. So Gina, so she's asking some advice. So it's always good to engage people, and I'm going to tell you why it's good to engage people. Because you may have been friends with somebody on Facebook since 2003 or 2005, but if you've never written a message to each other or never commented on each other's stuff, the chances are very slim that when you do make a post of value about a challenge group or about sharing someone's success story as a coach, you know, even the little tiny ones, the chances are that when no one's liking or commenting, it's because they don't see it. So it's important to, you'll notice on my Facebook as well that I'm always asking questions, right? I always post something and ask a question with it, and that's to get people commenting and liking it, because when people comment and like it, more people see the post. It shows up on more people's feeds when people comment and like. And that's why you don't see just a quote like, you know, share a picture. Like, that's why you don't put personal, like, for example, a bad post would be personal development podcast are my new best friend, ! A good post is what she did. What are some of your favorites? So she's engaging people. She's getting people to comment. So once people start commenting, then more people start seeing that post and more people start engaging with it. So you want to make it a goal to get engagement on your Facebook page. So my number one goal every day, as far as my Facebook page, is to get people to add value. And number two, get people to engage with my posts. So here's the first one. We'll count how many she has. She has a photo. It's also something for people to engage with. Finish the sentence, so people are engaging. Next one, talking about personal development and growth, asking a question, people are engaging. Here's a little throw in some Beachbody with the reward that she got for being in Success Club last month. More gifts from Beachbody than I know what to do with. And then she just asked a question at the beginning, where are all my Monopoly players at? So she got a few comments on that, and this is all on the same day, right? So 3 posts. And then it goes on to the day prior. So, and that's what I teach my coaches, and what I do is I make sure that I do at least 3 posts a day on Facebook, and with a goal of 5. So I have a goal to do at least 3, up to 5. And then what I want to share with you guys is we're going to look at how many links there are. So there's never links. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, make sure you're not posting links to like buy a product or to check out your website or anything like that. People don't want to see that because they'll see it as a salesy, and you don't want to be salesy. What you want to do is you want to be interested in people. You want to add value. You want to get people engaging and talking so you can find out about them. So if I'll just scroll through here just so you guys can see there's no links whatsoever. Very bold about her husband, Fontaine, and another male coach, talking about men changing their lives with Beachbody. And I watched that last night, by the way. It was an 1.5-hour call. I watched the recording this morning. Another key hint right here is you see she's adding friends on Facebook, and I'll talk about that as well. But here she is. Here's a good way to talk about, and I haven't even read it, but I know it's going to be good. So she's talking about starting Body Beast. And notice it's not just a stock photo of Body Beast from Google. She's putting herself in the photo. So you want to make sure that you're putting yourself in the photos. And I'm going to put it out there right now. I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room. Because Gina's a beautiful woman. My coach, Lindsay Matway, was a bikini model and a very beautiful woman. And I had these thoughts in my mind when I started, like, who's going to want to follow me? I'm not that good looking. You know, I was just barely starting my journey. You know, people are going to want to follow somebody that's more attractive. That was my thoughts. So I want to tell you guys exactly how I felt. But the more that I just put myself in the photos and showed who I really was, that attracted people like me into my life that could connect with me. Even though Sean knows that all these other ones are more beautiful than me, he was attracted to me because we're very similar. You know, once he saw who I was in my videos and my Facebook, that's what made him want to reach out to me. So I just want to check out how she did it. She's meal prepping starts right here. So she's boldly talking about her fitness and health journey without being salesy. I mean, she's putting a product in there, but it's not salesy at all. It's one of the best. She's talking about what she has to offer. So she's letting people know is we got you. Everything you need to know or need to succeed is laid out for you, setting you up for success. You just have to put in the work and follow it. And if that still gives you anxiety, reach out to me so I can help you. And then she's just showing that she's a mom. I'm going to Costco now. I'm going to go wash the clothes. Whatever it is that you're doing, you know, she's just sharing a part of her life with everybody. So there's some examples of some good posts on Facebook. Just pick one person right there. So make sure that you're public because, you know, on that Body Beast picture, her friends could have been commenting on that, and then, you know, some random mutual friend on Facebook could have seen that and been like, what is Body Beast? And then just like Brigitte or just like Sean, then they start to flip through your photos and flip through your statuses and flip through your, you know, if you have videos, they'll start flipping through that as well to learn what you're about. So that leads me to the next thing that I want to talk about your public Facebook page. That's why it's important to be consistent. Okay. I'm going to ask, Sean, I'm going to ask you again, man, because you're great at Facebook as well. Can you talk to us about why it's important to, you know, we're going to do 3 posts a day, not salesy. We're going to put ourselves in the photos so people can connect with who we are because the products sell themselves. Why is it important to be consistent at doing 3 to 5 a day?
The way I see it, once they see that you're being consistent with what we're doing, but the reason why I do it is because the more interaction I get with other people, when I'm forming my new people that have added me or I have met, and sending invites and so forth, I know that they're getting my messages. It's not going into their other box. What a lot of coaches don't know is there's 2 boxes when it comes to your messages. One is your inbox and the other one is your other box. And if you don't have actual contact with anybody, all your messages and all your efforts of trying to get to know someone and their family and so forth, they don't even see those messages. So like Scotty was saying, it all comes down to the interaction. If they're interacting with me, I can interact back with them. And when it comes down to the time that I'm actually trying to get to know them as a person, then I know we're going to connect because I know they're going to get my messages.
Excellent. So there's some great tips from Sean. And guys, Sean was so for those of you who don't know Sean was a coach for about a year and just kind of dabbled in it, I guess is the word. And then, you know, once they had a baby, he's got a fiance, Tara, and they have a baby. You know, he got serious about wanting to leave his job. And ever since that day when he got serious and confident and bold on Facebook, and it wasn't that he had success with as a coach yet. He just decided I'm doing this and put that out to the world on Facebook confidently and built those relationships. And 9 months later, he's a 2-star diamond working on his 3rd business center right now. So, and all that was literally was the decision. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going all in. I'm going to put myself out there on Facebook. And I use Sean all the time as like one of the most confident coaches on Facebook as a coach that's been doing it for less than 1 year. Like talking about his team, the success of the people on his team, the success of his challengers, the success of their entire team and being in the top of Canada. So it's being very bold because I believe fully that confidence attracts. You know, people want to be with somebody that knows where they're going. Not someone that's dabbling in it and one day they're on, or 1 week they're on, the next week they're gone. 1 week they're on, the next week they're gone. If they're like that, the people that are watching, they don't want to follow that because they want consistency. They want something that they can follow. So that's why it's going to be important as well. I'm now going to hit on something else that's important about your consistency on your posts. And I wish I knew how to erase that red line that I drew somehow, but we'll just live with it, right? I think it's important that you're consistent because almost 100% of the people that sign up as a coach on my team, as one of my personally sponsored coaches, and many of you guys are on here, we had a conversation months before for the most part, or we connected months ago for the first part, if not years, and they've seen me stay consistent at it. And then one day something in their life happens, or they connect with a post that I do, and they're like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. And here's the thing, if I was not consistent, they would probably most likely go to somebody else. They would go find somebody else that they know is there for them. And I'm going to be honest and truthful in this part. I want you guys to know what happens often. And it kills me sometimes. But there's times when there'll be somebody that signs up as a coach. They find me on Facebook. They follow my stuff, or they watch a YouTube video. And they're like, yeah, I was introduced to Beachbody 2 years ago by a coworker or a friend. And, I wasn't ready for it. It wasn't my time. But I ended up doing the workouts and I have great results. And now I want to help people, but my friend's no longer a coach, or I don't see them anymore on Facebook. Right? So somebody is planting the seeds for the person that's always consistent. If you're the person that's not consistent, you want to make sure that you're always there so that when they're ready, that you're there for them. And another word I'm going to use is, we'll call it on. I think it was on the call last week with Go for No. And thanks to Sean, we had the author of Go for No. If you didn't watch that call, make sure you watch that recording. But I believe it was her that was talking about when you are going for all those no's, you're making conversations on Facebook, you're connecting with people, you're getting out there 3 to 5 times a day. When you're doing that, she called it you own real estate in that person's mind. I want that to sink in. You own real estate in that person's mind when you're consistent. So what that means is when maybe right now they're not ready. For the most part, nobody's ready when you first talk to them for months, sometimes weeks, sometimes years. But if you're the one that's always there, you own real estate in their mind when they're actually ready for change. I'm going to show you guys an example. Brett, this is going to be you, man. Check out this. And I told him today, he came over to my house. He's in the Navy. He's married to my cousin. Check out this. I told him this wasn't a very good invite because I never connected with him, but I did it in my first year, in June 21st, in my first year. And look, I had no response whatsoever. I put, hey, there's a cool thing with Beachbody, active duty, that just came out yesterday. Let me know if you're interested in learning. You or the wife can be representative or coach for Beachbody. Make a 25% on sales. Sign up fee and monthly coach fees are waived now for military. You also get 25% off products like P90X, Insanity, and all those things. So I wrote that message to him 4 years ago as a brand new coach. And look at that. He never responded. Just ignored it. And he told me today, he's like, well, he's sending me one of those things, right? So that's a bad example of how to do it because I sent that to him without ever connecting. I was a brand new coach, June of 2011. So I'm teaching you, don't do it like that. And I'll talk about Facebook messages in a minute. But what I want to share with you is that with the consistency, now is his time and he's ready. He came over today, he wrote me last week, about wanting to retire my parents. And he came over today, we talked about it. And, I was just going to follow up with him later. He's like, okay, how do I sign up now? And he signed up and he's on the call today. So it was that being consistent part that was important with that. And I'll talk to you about how to do messages in just a minute. But I wanted to share with you guys the importance of staying consistent and being there because people will be ready on their own time. Can I get a thumbs up if does that make sense for everybody? Okay, awesome. Let's talk about your profile real quick before I go into messages. So right here is my profile picture. You want to make sure that it doesn't have to be a before-after picture by any means, but it needs to be you. You need Lindsay calls it, my coach Lindsay calls it, you need a flattering picture of you. So if that's just your smile, put a smile. I wanted to do a before-after picture. I'm very bold about what I do as a Beachbody coach, so I want people to be intrigued right away if they find my profile, that they can see that I am a proof of the products. But I'll show you my profile pictures that I've had just to show you some. It's always me. This is probably a better one, actually, that's going to connect with more people. But it's always me, for example, so that people know who they're talking to when they get on Facebook. So if you have a picture of a Steelers helmet or your favorite football team's, logo or something as your profile picture, or even just your kids alone, you'll want to change it and make sure that you're on there, because as you're doing these things and being consistent on Facebook, people need to know who you are so that they can connect with you. So make sure that you have that. Aside from being public, make sure that you have your Facebook, your profile picture, something that people can see who you are. And also your banner, something that's people can see, kind of what you stand for. Beachbody. There's one I made a long time ago. 52 weeks paid vacation. I remember that was like one of my first ones. This is one of my first ones. I had the whole family right here, and then my before-after picture. So, something that represents who you are and what you stand for is a great idea for your banner picture. Let's look at Gina's real quick. So if you can see Gina's, she has, with her son Junior, a coach thing, Team Beachbody, her and her husband, before, after, and then a complete family. So you can look at this right here and you can kind of see who Gina is. So you want that to be a great thing about you. I'm going to look at Jenny real quick. Jenny's a 25-year-old single girl. So she's got a flattering picture of her for her profile. And what you're going to find on her page, she lays it out: fitness, food, fun, family, and friendship. And then she talks about what she is. So, and once again, some examples. She's asking a question: what are you thankful for today? She's sharing from her personal development right here to add value to people. So I'm going to talk about, before I go into what I do in my private messages, because this is something that most people can't see. Everything I've talked about, you can see. When you go follow these elite top 25 coaches or any successful coaches on our team, and you look at their Facebook, you can physically see that, right? You can see what they post. You can emulate it in your own personality. And what I want you guys to know about that, don't try to be them, because if you do that, it's going to come across as icky. It's not you. So you want to be you, because that's when you're you and genuinely you, that's when you're going to connect with other people. So I want to talk about, if you guys can get out a little notepad. I kind of taught this in Calgary, but I'm going to teach you, if you haven't been consistent on Facebook, I'm going to tell you right now the best way to get started. So you can start this tomorrow, because I don't want to just tell you all these things without really giving you a takeaway to start doing. So here's what you can start with right now. The 3 vital behaviors. We got proof the products work. We got personal development. And we have invite, invite, invite. So here's what I want you to do to get started. If you feel like your business is struggling or you haven't really gotten started on using Facebook yet, this is going to be the perfect thing for you to get started. Or even if you've come across as salesy, or you're looking at your page and you're like, man, I'm not doing it like this, and you want to change that, here's some things you can do to change it. First thing is, once a day, do your workout, obviously, your vital behavior, and then post about it. Share your experience. Share your struggle with it. Tell us that you crushed it if you did awesome, right? If it was hard and you didn't make it through, let us know that you didn't make it through, but you're going to try harder tomorrow. So, and it doesn't always have to be like a selfie. It could just be whatever. It could be a status. It could be a photo of your workout DVDs. You could hold your workout DVDs and do a little selfie. Let people know that what you're going through. So that's number 1. Do your workout and post about it. The second one is read your personal development. So read your personal development. And then here's an important thing that I don't really teach people. That's what I do every day. Read your personal development and then teach it on Facebook. So there's 2 posts for the day right there, done, in connection with 2 of your vital behaviors. So you guys will see that on my Facebook page every morning. Before I get started on answering any messages, I read, for example, you'll notice that most of my posts for the past 3 weeks were about relationships. I'll give you an example. And don't look at my Facebook page today because I totally bombed everybody with our album release because I was just too excited about it. So don't follow my example today because it was all peak theory. But I'm going to show you what I did with my personal development. So this is what I'm talking about, doing a selfie with your Shakeology or a selfie with your DVDs or whatever. Just get yourself in there. And trust me, I was uncomfortable with selfies when I began as well. There's a family one. You'll notice one thing I do a lot is I do those 2 posts we talked about, a fitness one, a personal development one, and then I always do at least 1 or 2 family ones so that people know that I'm a family guy. And that's what I attract. And I also try to do humor. So I always try to find one thing a day that will make people laugh. So here's one, quotes, that's what, obviously she said that. So I always try to do 1 post a day that's going to make people laugh because I like to laugh. I like humor. So that's one thing that I do every day. I'm going to go back and find. So I'm just doing videos of things I'm going through. So here's the book I was reading. So this is what I'm talking about when I read my personal development, then I teach it. So all I did was, hey, I finished this. This story made a huge impact on me this morning. Please read to the end and share it so that we can all strive to be more like this. So all I did was I quoted a part of this book right here, and then I added photos with it of my wife and of my kids as well. So that's what I mean by read your personal development and then teach it to somebody else. So those are two things that you can do to get started, or 3 things actually you can do to get started. So make sure that you wrote them down. Do your workout, post about it in some way. Your workout or your nutrition. You do your personal development, teach it. And number 3, something about your family so people can connect with you as a family person, or it could be just you and your spouse. It could be you and your kids. And then find something else that you love, and then just do a post about that every day. So mine is humor, so I want to make people laugh, and I do engaging questions. So I tag somebody that will laugh at this. And what happens is if someone tags their friend, they're going to see it, right? So that's what I'm doing. Another great thing that you can do is you can recommend things, because we're recommending Beachbody products when people ask you. So you can recommend other things as well. Like if you found a good site if you're a girl and you found a shampoo that you love, right? Share that. Share that with people. If you're a mom and you learned a new way to curl your daughter's hair, share that. And tag your friends that have kids so they can see that. So always find ways to add value and interact with people on your Facebook. So I want you guys to know that's what I'm doing. That's what all the successful coaches are doing on their public Facebook page. So I'm going to ask real quick before I go into the private messaging part. Does anybody have questions about your public Facebook page, what to put, or any concerns that you want to ask?
I just want to step in there and say, you kept saying if you're a mom doing your kid's hair. Well, if you're a dad doing your kid's hair, post that too, because people love how much we mess up. So make sure you do that.
That's right. And the funny thing is, the more that you share your downfalls or the silly or quirky things that you do, the more people are going to connect with you. If everything's always perfect, they're not going to connect. And I'll give a great example. Follow Brigida Linford. She has made magic out of talking about all of her quirky stuff that she does. Of everything that she does that's different. She's like, I remember one post recently I watched, she put a collage of photo bombs that she did. And she was talking about how awkward she looks. She's always like jumping behind people and photo bombing them. And it was, she just talked about how awkward it was and quirky. She talks about, one day she made a post about how one eye is bigger than the other eye, and that she never really noticed it. Or, she just talks about the most random things like that are about her and who she is as a person. So be true to yourself, show who you are. And I saw a quote that another coach did the other day that said one thing. And it was just her. She made her own little quote. And it was like a little selfie. She was laying down and she put, wouldn't it be nice if we were all just who we actually are? And she was basically sharing, we know all this, share who we are openly on social media, just like when we're out in person, you want to be genuinely you. On social media, you want to be genuinely you. And because that's what's going to help you connect with other people. So is there anybody else on here aside from Sean that's got any questions or anything that they've seen that another coach does that's a great tip that we can share with other people? Don't be afraid. Yes.
I was going to tell you, I listened to, and I don't even remember what it was called, but they always have those different webinars that are going on where people are trying to get you to buy their products.
Yeah.
One of them was for Facebook. And it said, when I was listening to it, she mentioned to watch your wording because Facebook is getting to where it's regulating certain words. So if you use like sale, or if you're giving samples away or things like that, they're regulating that to where people aren't actually seeing it as often.
Okay, that's a great one. So that's awesome. And was that you, Amanda? I think that was Amanda. I couldn't see the video, but that's a great tip. And if you'll notice, any of those examples that I shared never talked about a sale, a link, sending out samples, any of that stuff. It was all about adding value to people on Facebook. So I hope you guys wrote those notes on what to post about on your Facebook and how to get started with that tomorrow. And then what I would do, let's add one to that list. Once every 2 weeks, I would share somebody's success story, physical success story with Beachbody. Okay? So make it like the 1st and the 15th. Just on your calendar, put it as a recurring event or whatever date you want to do. And then share somebody's physical transformation and just make a public invite. If you're interested in learning or getting started on your own workout, or if you've been watching what I do and you're interested in getting started, don't be afraid to write me a message and talk about your goals. Do that twice a month. And here's the thing. I know many of you guys may be saying, I don't have any customers yet as a brand new coach with success stories. Carl Deichler told us we can use any success story from the Daily 500 Challenge winners. So you can use any of those. Whenever I ask my customers and the success stories I share on my blog and on my Facebook, they all say it can be shared publicly. So you can use any of my customers' success stories, my success story, Sean's, you can use Shane's, you can use everybody. So also a great idea in a team page would be to share often your own success story so that together we can have more success stories to share with people. So I would do that every 2 weeks. And that's just to let people know that you're out there adding value, engaging, interacting, getting to know people. But then they can see that people's lives are being changed with health and fitness. And then I would do at least once a month a post about the business, sharing the success story on the business. And I'm not talking about the $1 million earning ones or the paying off the mortgage or any of that stuff, because a lot of that isn't relatable for your audience that's going to be seeing your post. Share the good, meaty stuff, right? That people can connect with. Like, there's a few. Barton Jeffs, for example, he went diamond in just over 2 months. A military coach of mine in Salt Lake City. He shared that he earned like $600 in the first 2 months. He shared, hey, I was able to help 12 people get started on their health and fitness transformation. And at the same time, Beachbody paid me $600 to do that. And, how amazing is that I could pay half of my mortgage just because I'm out helping people. And that attracted 2 people into him to say, hey, I wasn't so interested in that P90X thing you were talking about, but I really am struggling financially and I could use an extra $600, to really pay off some credit card debt or some medical school debt or whatever it is. So be sharing those types of success stories as well. When you see them, you want to be able to make sure that you're sharing maybe once a month something that's relatable. Somebody paying off their credit card or somebody paying off their, a portion of their mortgage, somebody paying for their own Shakeology, those things like that, paying for their cell phone bill, or, how they struggled to get groceries and then they were able to go get groceries because they helped 3 people get started with the 21-day fix. Find those stories in the team and share those with people, because that's the one that's going to attract coaches into your business. And it's kind of funny. I told her I would share it, but Jennifer Greenberg, she's a 9-star diamond coach, able to retire her husband after almost 4 years of Beachbody, and he walked away from $1 million pension. And she told me today that she's been doing more business-related posts, like about being an entrepreneur, about coach success stories. And the funny thing is that she's attracting more people that want to be coaches into her business and not people that just want to work out. So you'll attract into your life what you put out. So make sure that you think about that when you're working on your Facebook page. If you put negativity on there, you're going to get negativity back. You don't ever want to do that. So the more positive things you put out there to the world, the more positive thing the world's going to send back to you. Like amazing people like Sean. The world sent me Sean because I was putting positive things out to the world, right? And now we're like best friends. So get over those fears and get it out there. Don't be afraid of what people think about you. My favorite quote of all time, as you go about this, is people's opinions of you does not define your reality. So just know that each and every one of these coaches on here, they support you, they encourage you, and they're there to lift you up as you go through this journey and this transition into being bold about who you are. So this call is going super long, but that's okay. I'm going to talk about the importance now of private messaging and what I do with my private messages. So I personally, we talked about your public page, like what to post about, how to interact. Now I'm going to talk about what I do with my messages, with my follow-ups, with making new invites. So here's the standard of what they teach with the 3 vital behaviors. Add 2 new people a day to your Facebook. So write that down. Add 2 new people a day to your Facebook and start conversations with them. Get to know who they are. And Sean is really great with this, so I'm going to have Sean, he briefly hit on it, but let's touch on that again, Sean, and then I'll validate what you say. What do you talk about when you say add 2 people and then talk to them and get to know them? What do you talk about?
It depends if I've known them or if we have mutual friends. Like everybody's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's someone that we have like mutual friends about or we've connected at some point, I never talk about Beachbody right away. It's usually about, I like to start off with them. Everybody likes, this might sound wrong, but everybody likes to talk about themselves, right? They're really not interested in what I have to say. People like to talk about themselves in the form of their family, their kids. It could be a vacation that they just went on. Some people like to talk about their jobs. Some people don't like talking about their jobs. But it's family, recreation, their jobs, like occupation. And that's really getting back to that, what I said before was forming your customers or forming, your past relationships with people that you've had, and just getting to know them. Don't be afraid to ask the questions, because the more questions you have, the more they open up to you. And later date, that will really help you and your business because they trust you, right? They're trusting themselves into you. But the more you know about them, the better it is for both your relationships. I hope that answered your question.
No, that was perfect. As you were talking about that and getting to know them, there's a quote or a phrase that says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you're asking people questions about them and their family and listening to them instead of just vomiting about your challenge group or about coaching on them, they know that you genuinely care about them because that's what you're doing. But you've got to be that person that genuinely cares, right, about getting to know them when you're having those conversations with them. Actually, that book I read, 7 Levels of Intimacy, was amazing for that because it talks about getting past just the casual, first, second level of intimacies where you just write like, hey, how's it going? You actually get into their life and who they are and get to know them. So everything that Sean says there is exactly correct. Get to know them like that. So I saw Jenny had a tip, and Jenny's great with Facebook. So Jenny, if you can hear this, could you unmute yourself and share with us another tip?
Yeah. You haven't talked about video, have you?
No, I didn't yet.
Okay, so basically Facebook loves videos that are directly uploaded into Facebook. So as opposed to posting like a YouTube link, Facebook algorithms will basically promote that video that you post so that it reaches like far more people in your network and can potentially reach like friends of friends. So if you have if you have a video that's maybe like 10 seconds to 30, that's good enough. Like more than a minute and maybe you might lose people. But I think if you start posting videos of like yourself working out or doing something fun with your family or something silly that will get people to see you on a more three-dimensional basis, that will really help you to really get your stuff out in the newsfeed.
I love that. Thanks for sharing that. I'll give you an example. So, I put my day 30. You guys should be sharing your progress with your fitness, to show people what you're going through. So make sure that you're doing that. But I'm going to look at a photo and then validate what she says about videos, just to show you an example. Here's a video. So I made this video today. Most of my pictures get anywhere nowadays. In the beginning, I got like 3 likes on my pictures. Remember, it's about the compound effect. But in the beginning, my pictures, or even now my pictures, get anywhere between like 20, and a really good one will get like 100, maybe 200. But as you guys can see, this video got seen by 2,152 people. And if I remember right, let me just, it was 23 seconds. So it was just me, my son, and my wife, sharing our life today when we got to hear the baby's heartbeat for the first time. And it got liked 269 times. So a lot of people got to see that. If we look at a picture, so here's another video. It got seen 1,400 times with 84. And then I'll show you what a picture does. I got 24 likes and 9 comments on a picture, right? So see the number of likes and comments I got on the video versus a photo. So it validates kind of what Jenny shares right there. But let me show you about getting outside your comfort zone. And many of you guys might have seen this, but that new size workout's coming out. So I totally was uncomfortable and scared to post it. But let me show you what happened when I actually did that, so you guys can get comfortable getting uncomfortable. So as you can see, most of these videos I'm posting are kind of what Jenny said: 26 seconds, 30 seconds, 37 seconds, 1 minute, 8 seconds. Short videos that just get people to see your stuff and see who you are. We did a dance one. I'm going to show you guys how many times this got seen. Okay, and this was the first time I ever did that dance. It got seen 34,900 times. And I'm like flopping my arms around and I look awkward and I feel uncomfortable watching it. But hey, people connected with that because, people are genuinely silly in person, but they don't get that out to the world. So they need to see that people are not afraid to do that. And they want to, they feel comfortable with you. They're not intimidated by you. If you're doing all this stuff, they see that you're just a normal person. So get over those fears, get yourself out there and who you are. And that's what's going to get people connecting with you as well. So
you're forgetting about the biggest video, Scotty. You're forgetting about the pants with no hands.
Oh,
88,000 views was the last time I saw it.
88,000? So yeah. And the funny thing, guys, is I saw on Facebook, I saw somebody, so it's not like a by chance thing. I saw somebody do a video putting their pants on with no hands, and it had millions of views. It was some little Asian guy, and I was like, what the heck? That's crazy. So I tried it, and I had my wife record me, and I put it on Facebook, and it had like 88,000 views or something like that. So, and it was awkward. I'm like in some boxers with my sweatpants, putting my pants on. It's totally random, but it made people laugh, right? And I put it to some music as well to make it more entertaining. But it's like just getting yourself out there. So thanks for reminding me of that. I'll have to go watch that sometime. Okay. And Erica says she watched it a few times. Okay, I want to talk briefly about inbox messages. Make a note as well, if you are distracted by Facebook, notice these notifications. I never look at these, by the way, and that's how I can stay focused and get so much done in one day. If you're distracted by that and you're not making your 3 posts and reaching out to 2 new people a day and making your invites, and you're distracted by other things on Facebook like this, or scrolling like this through everything, that's not building your business. So if you're distracted by that, just send me a message, and I have a video on how to avoid distractions, or just go to my YouTube channel, How to Avoid Distractions, and I talk about how to avoid that. So I won't talk about that on that today because I have a very specific one just for that. But if you're distracted by that, you'll waste hours upon hours, and and many opportunities to connect with people if you're doing that. So let's talk about messages real quick. So every day the standard is add 2 new people to your Facebook and start connections with them. So Sean talked about that. Talk about them, not about you, not about your product, not about your opportunity. They're going to shut you off. Bad example was the one I sent to my cousin Brett as a brand new coach, where without having any conversations, I said, hey, here, you can be a military discount coach and sell product and get discount and make commissions. Bad one. You don't want to do that. I didn't ask anything about him and his family and what they're going through. So that was a bad example. So do what Sean says on that. Make genuine connections with people. And when you do that, the opportunity is going to come up for you to tell them what you do. So, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. I do these workouts. And the cool thing is Beachbody pays me to help people. Have you ever thought about getting started on your fitness journey? Or are you currently working out? Or have you been looking to lose weight? And then asking those questions so that you can help start into that conversation of rolling them into a challenge group or them becoming a coach eventually. So what I'm doing with my conversations, I'm adding, the standard is add 2 people a day. I'm going to tell you what I do specifically. I do 5 because my goal is not Success Club 5 every month. My goal is Success Club 10 in my business and 5 in Gabby's. So instead of doing 2, I do 5, at least 5 a day. So what am I doing with these 5? The exact same thing that Sean said. I'm asking about them. I'm talking about them. And here's what I do. I'll tell you guys about a coach. He's going to be signing up on our team, and he'll probably watch this video. So I'm calling him out right now. But this guy, I watched one of his videos. He's very motivational, ex-drug addict that is helping a lot of people. He's here speaking at a high school about overcoming his past and helping people. So when I started my conversation with him, I connected with him. Hey, I had a similar past. Where are you from? Where do you live? What do you do for work? And, obviously ask him, dude, you look pretty fit. Do you work out? And I just started a conversation with him, asking him, and we built a relationship. And, and sometimes he would stop answering my messages. So what I would do is I would just come to his page and I would start liking on some of his stuff. I'll do it right here for you guys. I think this is when he spoke to a high school. I talked to him on the phone last week, so I knew he was going to do this. Watch. Okay. That's what I'm doing every single day when I'm building relationships with people, with these 5 new people. I'm going to their page. I'm seeing what they're up to. I'm commenting on it. I'm liking it. I'm asking them questions about it. And then I'll go into the private message. Oh, I'll go like this. Then I'm going to do one for you right here. So, see, he was sharing, I have to go speak to a high school filled with family and kids I've trained and tell my story. I'm really nervous, man. I just refuse to believe I'm inspirational. So I added some thought. Hey, dude, you'll do amazing. The more real and the more raw you are, the more you'll connect. So I just went in and gave him some advice, and we're just continuing a conversation. And so I talked to him about how I get to speak in, oh, you guys aren't supposed to know that yet. But anyway, I go in and then I talk to him about, give him some advice and continue the conversation. And then this is what I would do. So and he's written, every single person is written in a notebook. So I can do follow-up. Every day I have follow-up. So I'll just show you guys, so tomorrow I'm going to go to every single one of these people and I'm going to continue our conversation. I'm not going to send a message saying, hey, are you ready to join the challenge group yet? Hey, are you ready to sign as a coach? Hey, Pio's on sale. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm going to go in and have conversations like this one I'm having right here with Sean. And so let's say Sean's on my list today and I'm working. I'm going to come in and do this. And he's going to see this video probably. I'll share it with him. There you go. So, guys, this is what I'm doing every single day with all these conversations. And those of you that have been my challengers and become coaches, look back through your messages and just see what I did in that aspect. And then you'll be able to see how you can do that, what Sean's talking about with you, what I'm talking about with you. So that's what I'm doing in my private messages. And here's the thing, guys. Another trick about Facebook is when you're liking their posts and commenting on their posts, they're going to more likely see your posts as well. Just like Jenny said, when you make videos, or it gets seen by more people. When you comment on their stuff, they see more of your stuff. Facebook recognizes that you guys have a relationship, and they put your stuff in front of them more often, and it puts their stuff in front of you more often. So you want to be making sure that you're engaging like that. So that's what I'm doing on all these follow-ups, is I'm going in, I'm continuing the conversation. When the time comes up, I'm going to, I'm going to invite him to something. For example, if we go back in that conversation, I just want to show you how I've invited him. Hopefully I didn't do too bad on this. So, okay, yeah, I invited him to this. So he's writing me, look at this conversation. We're just friends. We're friends. That's what we're creating with Team Beachbody. Don't overcomplicate this. It is building relationships with people, making friends with people, and then inviting them to be a part of what you do, and then helping them, giving them the tools to help them achieve their goals. So we're talking about, look, I'll just go through this. So, hey, he's looking at a house. It's foreclosed. I talked to him, hey, that'll be an awesome project for you. Where's it at? And look, he didn't respond. So I went back and I asked, hey, where did you find a house? That was a week later. No, I didn't find a house. I didn't get approved. So it's not annoying, guys. Look, March 15th, March 19th, like 4 days later, he didn't respond. So I went back, hey, did you get approved for that house? Or did you find a house? No, I didn't. So I'm going to go back for my master's and doctorate. So we're just having a conversation. That's awesome. It's part of what are you going to study? Right? Do you see anything about Beachbody here? Nothing about Beachbody, right? And then he congratulates me on the announcement of having a baby. Prayers, we're building a relationship. And then here's an invite. So we've built a rapport. He's asking about my family. I'm asking about his school. He's asking about this. I'm asking about his home he wants to buy. And then here's an invite, guys, to see how I make an invite. It's not random like I did to my cousin, Brett, that I shared you. That's a no-no, right? Thumbs down to those. But hey, bro, I wanted to share this webinar I did this past Monday about the mindset, physical transformations, and a lifelong change. I think you can relate well with it and maybe be able to share the message with others. So I invited him to watch something, which was basically a team call, so he could be educated about what we do as Beachbody coaches. So planting seeds. So we continue on the conversation. Actually, if you look at this, he didn't respond to that at all. I sent that on April 3rd. No response. April 21st, when I'm in Cancun. I hope you enjoyed your trip. Well, bro, I've been thinking about it, and I may like to entertain the coaching thing. I'm not sure yet, but I figure I have a solid following and can maybe offer them some ways to get healthier after drugs and alcohol. So whenever you get settled in, maybe we can have a phone conversation at your convenience later. Hey, it's good to hear from you. I've been trying to catch up all day. How about you shoot me a text and we can find a time this week to talk on the phone? So that's what I'm doing, guys. It's not always trying to shove what we have down their throats. You live the example, you add value, you build relationships, and the conversations will come up if you give them the opportunity to learn what you're doing by watching you. And then you can make those invites like I did. Hey, could you watch this video? This is how my life's been changed. I feel you could benefit from it. Would you watch it? And, in realistically what happened is he was watching my Facebook like we talked about. He sees what I do, and he saw the value that he could use what I have as a Beachbody coach to help other people with what he does. So that's what I'm doing with Facebook, guys. That's what I'm doing with this whole list every single day of follow-ups. And guys, when the conversation goes dead, or they stop responding, or they tell me they want to do it and they don't for a long time, I just let them know, hey, I understand you wanted to start my challenge. The challenge with us next month. I haven't heard back from you, so I'm assuming something came up and you're not ready. And I want you to know that I'm totally okay with that. But what I do want you to know is that I'm committed to helping people get results with these programs. So when you're ready, feel free to come to me. And I continue on. So that's what I want to make sure that you're doing, is that you're continuing on in that aspect, so that you don't stick with one or two or three people and count on them being your your people, because most people will take time. Like Sean, I'm picking on Sean. I'm gonna text him tonight so he's prepared for this. But this started March. Oh, you can't see the rest of it for some reason. Yeah, I can't go back for some reason. Let me see if I can see it right here. Because I want you guys to know the process that it takes. So, it started on March 6th. So, I mean, it took a solid 2 months for him to be interested in coaching. A solid 2 months of us having conversations about it. Here's another example, guys. This is a friend from high school, Lacey. Well, I'm official. She signed up as a coach today. I talked to her on the phone today. But I'm going to show you her message, basically. So here's an invite. Anyway, I'll go back. Anyway, she's been using Shakeology and using Beachbody products since I began as a coach 4 years ago. And, she's had the Max 30 challenge pack. But then finally, she sees the bigger picture of being a coach, right? And she signed up as a coach today. Well, she's one of my first Shakeology customers from 2011. So I want you guys to know that it takes time. This process takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. Sean replied, he doesn't know that he's in an active webinar. I'll tell him later. But I want you guys to know that that's what I'm doing. I'm building relationships. That's what all these coaches are doing. And I know that's something that most of you guys probably don't realize that these top coaches are doing behind the scenes, is I'm spending the majority of my time after my 3 vital behaviors. I'll tell you exactly what I do every day. I do my list. You guys have seen my 10 things I do every day. If you haven't seen that, make sure that you go check it out. But I'm doing my personal development first thing in the morning. Then I teach it. I do my workout. Then I talk about it. And then I check in on all my groups. My coach, I add my 5 people. Then I check in on my groups. And those are in my list of the 10 things I do every day, so you can see that. I do that, and then the next amount of time is having these conversations on the phone, doing these messages and building relationships with these people. So that's what I'm doing behind the scenes, and just like you saw in both of those, I'm making invites to, hey, we're doing a webinar, or hey, I was thinking about what you told me, and I think that Beachbody could help you. Would you watch this 2-minute video, right? Or would you watch this 10-minute video to see if this is something that could fit into your life, or if you know somebody that this will fit into your life. So that's what I'm doing behind the scenes every single day. But it's if you look at that conversation, it's all about building a relationship with those people. So with that being said, I'm going to check for questions real quick. I know we went really long today. I tried to keep it at an hour, but there was a lot to cover today. Sean asked a question, or Marquita does as well. I have a guy in my inbox that's never liked a single post of mine or commented. I don't know who he is. We don't have any mutual friends, and his name isn't an actual name. Marquita, I get some of those as well, and you'll notice I have those in my other box. You can kind of tell. I just ignore them on some of them. So, like this one, hey, hello, can I making friend with you? So there's some that I just don't I don't interact with them. But if I'm not sure, I'll just write them a question. Hey, where are you from? If they don't have a picture on their Facebook or they're brand new, then I wouldn't worry about it at all. I wouldn't even write them. If they're like signed up on April 1st of 2015, they have no profile picture, no friends, I wouldn't respond to that one at all. So you want to talk with real people for the most part. So Marquita, that answers your question. I'm reading some questions. Samantha, can I ask sorry, I'm going to read it so I can answer these questions. It went away. Samantha says, people come out of the woodwork every time I make my page public. Guys, I was able to go on the top 10 trip, and every single one of those coaches told me, I asked them, how did you find these amazing coaches that helped you become a top 10 coach? And every single one of them said pretty much the same thing. When I stopped caring what people thought about me, when I became open about who I was publicly on Facebook, the most amazing people came into my life. So if that isn't key enough right there to just be yourself and put yourself out there, that's one of the biggest things. Just like Samantha says, when you get public and you put it out there, that's when people connect with you. That's when they'll come out of the woodwork. Nicole says, I always check out new friend requests and snoop them out. I'm going to tell you what I do with new friend requests. So new friend requests, for me, for example, most of them are Beachbody coaches, but you could use the same technique I use. I say, hey, thanks for the friend request. That's the first thing I say. Hey, thanks for the friend request. And then ask a question. I just do it this way, even if I know they're not. Hey, thanks for the friend request. You must be a fellow Team Beachbody coach. And then that way they get to say yes or no. If they say no, you immediately have a prospect, right? You have somebody to start building a relationship with. So that's the question I ask to all friend requests is hey, thanks for the friend request. I'd like to know, where are you from? And you must be a Team Beachbody coach, and that, or whatever, something like that, something that sounds like you. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Let me get a drink real quick, and then I'll answer a couple more questions. And the guys are going to be mad because I'm supposed to be in the studio. Actually, we're not in the studio anymore. It's band practice night now. Okay, where do you find a consistent 2 to 5 people a day to draw from and not get blocked in the process? One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to friend request like 20 people a day. I'll tell you exactly what I did in the beginning. There's a place where you can see your mutual friends. I think you can see it on here. You come down here, no new requests, see more. See more requests, see all. Friend suggestions. So there's like friend suggestions. You could start from those, but I would only do like 3 to maybe 3, maybe 5 at the most a day. And what you could do is, I won't do it right now because I'm maxed out, but I would put like add friend, and then I would send them a message. I'll say, hey, I see that we're mutual friends with Alba and Myra. Are you from? And if both those mutual friends are from the same town as you, I would just put the same thing. Do you live here in Idaho Falls as well? And just start a conversation with them. So that's what I did in the beginning. He's almost Star Diamond. His name's Josh Holt. You guys may see him. He's a pro BMX rider. Our conversation started that way. As a mutual friend, I just went and put, hey, I see that you're big into BMX, and we went to the same high school, and I see that we have a few mutual friends. I just wanted to get connected with some people from town. That's all I did. And he became a coach. He watched what I did, and he became a coach and started with P90X months, actually a couple years later. So, Samantha, can you share your secret real quick?
Hey, so if you go to your friend requests and look, there's another little blip to the side that says already requested friends. If you go through that and make sure that you're deleting the requests that you've done that aren't being accepted, Facebook will be a way, way, way more lenient on you. Okay,
awesome. I didn't know that. So if they're not accepting it, you can go out and decline that request. So yeah, if you don't want to add a bajillion people at once, because Facebook will block you. So 3 to 5 is what I say a day. And I did mutual friends in the beginning, people you may know, friend suggestions. That's the way I did it. And then I kind of graduated into groups, like Facebook groups, like pages. I'll do it right now. Watch this. So my band is playing in a show on May 9th with Saving Abel. So what I'll do is I'll go to, can't remember what it's called. So we're playing at this show with like Saving Abel, Cage 9, these bands. So what I can do is come into here. Watch, I'm just gonna I don't know these people. This is at the event. I'm gonna go like this stuff. I'm so pumped for this show. So these guys, how Facebook works, they're gonna see that somebody else commented on the status that they commented on. So another thing you could do is, watch, I could do this. James. Oh, he won't. So he won't see that most likely because it's going to the other folder. But if I had a friend request available, I could send him a friend request, and then once it's accepted, he'll see the message. I could say, "Hey James, I saw you commented on the show that's on May 9th. Are you going to it?" And I would just start the conversation like that. That's all I would say. And I would just make a new friend. I'd start talking about it. I'd see if his friends are coming. So you could do that. You know, I did it with music festivals. I went to like pages of my favorite bands. I'll show you. Like my favorite band is Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. We got to play with them last year. But I would go like, they're in Australia, so I'm not going to comment on that. Watch, this is my favorite. This is actually my favorite. This is a line from my favorite song. So I'd come in here. So I would come and comment and interact with these people. So like Aaron commented cat and mouse. And so I could like his and I could reply to his comment. And remember, if my Facebook post is public, he could be like, who's this guy liking my stuff and commenting? He can come over and see my page and see what I do on Facebook. And if he doesn't friend request me, I could have done it right here. Be like, hey, I noticed you like, we like the same band. I love that song, Cat and Mouse. And I would just start building a relationship with them. So that's what I would do in the beginning is find things that you're interested in. Because if you go to that page, you already have something in common with all the people on that page. So that's one way right there. So I really have to go get over to band practice, but I wanted to let you guys know that I hope this helped you. It's a really long recording. So, but it will be recorded. I'll have it up on my YouTube channel. But the most important thing is to get started on these things, on being consistent on your own Facebook page, so that when you're adding these friends, you're having these conversations, they can see what you're doing. They can see the value you're adding. They can see that you're serious about this, and then realize it's going to take time. It's going to take 3 months, perhaps even, before some of those people take you very serious and reach out to you personally and ask. But as you start making conversations now, you can come to the opportunity much quicker to invite them to listen to a 10-minute video or watch a 10-minute video or to share a success story with them or relate something to them in that aspect. So thanks for being on this call. Remember, next week we're going to have an amazing call with a coach that has built a phenomenal business in her first year. And also, I have to give a shout out to, if you're not following Keisha, I'm going to show you guys right now. She is sponsored by Brigida Linford. This girl right here with 8-star diamond, she's been a coach for 15 months. But she also did a post today on how her first month she made $700, month 7, $1,800, month 13, $4,000, $5,000, and month 16, $10,000 as a Beachbody coach. Follow her because this girl is getting it done on her Facebook. She's phenomenal. She's a phenomenal leader and a great person to follow. So follow Keisha Fitzgerald. She's sponsored, like I said, by Brigida Linford, another great coach that you can follow and get to kind of see what she's doing so that you can kind of emulate great posts, but in your own, or great interactions on Facebook, but you're in your own personality. So we'll see you guys all later. Thanks for hopping on the call tonight. Sorry, once again, it went a little long, but I get excited talking to you guys. And I just want to say thank you guys because from the bottom of my heart, and Sean knows this, and Gina knows this, I shared with them my biggest struggles and things I struggle with. Like, I know how important it is that you guys are on these calls and learning and growing because I want to give you guys all that we have, but you can only get it if you come, right? So I pray that you guys get these messages so that you can take these things into your own life and into your own business and apply them, because that's my mission now. I don't have goals or struggles financially anymore. It's you guys. I do this because I want you guys to build your businesses and achieve what you guys want in your lives and your businesses as well. So take the information and don't just soak it in. Start applying it starting tomorrow morning. We'll see you guys later.